Welcome to the channel, viewers. Reverend Dr. J.W. Morrison, theologist, as we one wheel the afternoon away. Land hydrofoil practice. I'm always up to something. I've always tried to show the people that I'm in a relationship with that yes, I am not codependent. I do love partnership. I do love for it to be reciprocal and reciprocated. And if it comes to the point where it's not, I'm not frightened to walk away. Because when you get to my age, 57, nearly 58, going on 60, I don't believe I've got time to be mucking around with people who aren't making the effort to make the relationship work. Different people have different agendas and they want to be with you for different reasons, but if you want to, what I'm realizing is that people that don't want to be with you for your benefit, let them go. Just let them go. If they're not there for the co-mutual benefit of the relationship, then let them go. If they're not willing to resolve issues with you, then you need to let that person go. Because there's no benefit in it for you. I've spent time with people who have been in the relationship and refuse to want to resolve, and I've tried to write it out in the hope that resolve would take place, but it's been in vain, and it's usually because of a triangulation. And I can't understand these people I can't understand these people that are trying to have relationships with grown men that can't even sort their grown adult children out. I, for the life of me, cannot understand how these people think that you're going to tolerate, as a grown man, the immaturities of adult children that don't manage themselves properly. They just don't manage themselves in a mature way. And these single mothers are allowing them to dictate terms with them over their lives. And you can't have a relationship with these people. It's too hard. It's too hard trying to have a relationship with these people. It's too hard. You've got every Tom, Dick and Harry and flying monkey and gremlin interfering. You're doing your part peacefully as can be, as strong as can be, and you've got all this trouble and trauma and crap coming from triangulation and interferences from the person that you're with, and they're not doing anything about it. Well, if somebody doesn't find resolve, kick them out. Get rid of it. And get resolve. If it means pissing that person off, piss them off. But you've got to have resolve. There's no time not to have. Resolve is not an option. It's not something you just dilly-dally around with, because without resolve, there's going to be mental trauma. And you don't want trauma. You want peace and order and stability and serenity. And these young adult people today, they are going to stand over these women. They're going to tell them what to do. And for the most part, these women will allow that to happen. And they're allowing these things to happen, and it's wrong. You must be desperate if you want to be in a relationship with somebody that's triangulating the privacy of it. And you must be blind and have no self-esteem or anything if you're allowing that to happen. Because it's going to bring trauma to your mind and to your thinking. You cannot have interferers in your relationship. It's not going to work. You have to have the privacy and the serenity of the privacy of your relationship. When there's flying monkeys and gremlins and minions interfering and the person that you're with's not stopping it, then that is an invasion of the integrity of the time and person that you're giving to that relationship. The person doesn't care. The person that you're with doesn't have the value to understand that that's wrong. Or they don't have the intelligence, or they're enmeshed to the other person in a way in which they're prepared to jeopardize the relationship to stay on terms with the spoiler. Because there's spoilers around every corner. People who want to spoil what's good. Let them go and spoil it. Send that person away. Give them all their stuff back and tell them to get out. Because that's what they're worthy of. They'll stand there and tell you, oh no, I'm not worthy. Well, they're trying to warn you that they're not going to be able to fix the simplest of problems to save the relationship. That's what it means. I'm not going to be prepared to fix the simplest problems to solve the relationship. Resolve's paramount. Without resolve, you're going to have stress, you're going to have mind trauma, you're going to have a lack of peace, a lack of comfort, you're going to have torment, trouble, dissension, division, derision, and all other unnecessary complications that you shouldn't sign up for. Triangulation, invasion of privacy is a big destroyer. Oh, sorry, love. Is a big destroyer of relationships, and people have got no credence for the trouble that it causes. And if somebody's causing you trouble, let them go. Let them walk away. Send them away. Because there's people out there that do have boundaries, that know how they work, that know how to put people in place that are out of order, that know how to protect the privacy of their relationship, and know how to understand the consequences of starting a relationship and the damage that it does if it gets wasted by way of folly. And honestly, people just don't care these days how they look, how they wreck things. They're just out to rape, pillage and plunder, get what they can at the expense of whoever and whatever. And if you're not aware, and thank God there's people that are bringing awareness now to these schools, if you're not aware of what's going on and how you're being abused, because triangulation is psychological vandalism and abuse and assault And it does cause trauma, and it can be third party. It can be an outside influence buggering up the relationship. If the partner that you're with is not resolving the problem, tell them to go. Tell them to go. Say, no, come and get your shit and fuck off. Because you are being damaged, you're being disrespected, you're being taken for granted, and the person that you're with is not worthy of your time or your effort. They don't care. There's something missing. They're enmeshed with the family member, incestually, emotionally enmeshed. And it's sabotaging the privacy of your relationship. And you shouldn't be allowing that to happen. You're being taken for granted, walked on, and that person will run it for as long as they can until you tell that person to go. And until you tell that person to go, you're going to have to tolerate it. But at the same time, whether you can tolerate it or not, you will be abused and you will suffer trauma. Trauma is an automatic response to abuse in a relationship. And that can be emotional abuse, vandalism, and assault. But just because you think you're handling it doesn't mean it's not real, the trauma that it's causing. Now, these people are already traumatized. That's why they don't know or care about the resolve. They're enmeshed. That's more important to them than the relationship, the enmeshment. And you have to realize that they're going to run it for as long as they can until you say no more. And if you're not prepared to say no more, guess what? You're just going to have to tolerate it. How are you, love?
Evil.
You bet. This is land practice for the water one. It's dangerous. While you tolerate it, they'll dish it out. It's not until you confront the issue that things will change. And when you come to the point that you've had enough, hopefully sooner rather than later, two things will happen. Number one, you'll be out of the problem. You'll be away from the problem. And number two, it'll be an opportunity for the person that you've told to go to introspect, and if they've got any brains, change things in a way in which will help them not to get into that situation again where they're losing a relationship. If they do nothing, then you're with an idiot, just a stupid idiot, infantile fool that didn't care about himself and couldn't care about anybody else except probably their adult suicidal children. Drug addicted adult suicidal children. And it'll just go on and on again, because if people don't introspect, they don't want to fix it. And you have to be ruthless. Yeah, give them a chance. Give them one chance, two chances, three chances. But after the third, let them go. Because the relationship's infiltrated by an interferer. And the enmeshment that your partner's got with that interferer is more important to them than resolve, which is an offense to you and an insult to you. And they'll even blame you. They'll have the hide and the gall to blame you for the attitude of the dysfunctional, hostile, narcissistic family member. They've got it in for you. They're trying to destroy you. They're grubs. They haven't matured. They're usually addicts or alcoholics. They think they know everything and they haven't even started to live. Life's slipping through their fingers. They're jealous of you. They're envious of you. and you need to walk away and tell them to go. Cut contact, cut ties. If they learn something out of it, good luck for them, but if they don't, at least you're free, and that's all that matters. Heal, recover, go through the processes and move on with your life as quickly as you can. This is Reverend Dr. J.W. Morrison on the One Wheel. Thank you for joining me, and bye for now.